or tune it in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the headlines. Passenger safety top priority ahead of airport reopening in Oman. Good Samaritan saved 2 Omanis from drowning. Embezzlement of over 240,000 disclosed in Oman. Doctors enroll for residency general foundation programs. Pact signed to improve learning environments. Over 25 scholarships by Tunisia for postgraduates. 3 militants, policeman killed in Indian-controlled Kashmir. Those are the news headlines. Now let's take a look at what the weather is like. It's a bright and sunny day outside the TFM studio in Al Khair. But before we give you more about weather, here is a quick tip for today. If you are going to expose yourself to the sun, make sure you've got a sunscreen of at least SPF 30. SPF 50 is even better. Apply it a few minutes before you leave your house, giving it enough time to seep in. Oman Meteorology and Public Authority for Civil Aviation have indicated that seas will continue to be rough over the Arabian Sea coastline. This will be accompanied by reduction in horizontal visibility during thundershower and fog. Along the Arabian coastline, we can expect southwesterly moderate to fresh winds and a relative humidity between 65 to 90%. As we mentioned, seas will continue to be rough with waves reaching a height of 3.5 meters and winds up to 25 knots. PAC has therefore advised all citizens to exercise extreme caution. With that, let's take a look at what the weather is like in the rest of the governorate.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Let's go over the COVID-19 updates from yesterday. On Sunday, August 30th, the Ministry of Health had registered 539 new COVID-19 cases and 27 deaths in Oman. The total cases in the country have now touched 85,544, which includes 80,459 recoveries and 677 deaths, according to the Ministry of Health. In the past 24 hours, 851 recoveries were reported. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health, as well as staying at home and not going out unless necessary. Now more news from the local desk. The safety of passengers and employees is the top priority at airports across Oman, ahead of preparations to reopen them to the public. With the aviation sector being amongst the most affected by the pandemic, the Supreme Committee has drawn up plans to reduce the chances of infection among people at airports so that flights can operate safely. The Royal Oman Police, represented by security teams at the airports, is working in tandem with airline operators in the country to create an environment that ensures people coming here remain safe. Speaking on Oman Radio, Major Khalid Al-Batashi of the ROP said that preparations are being made at airports in the country. He said the work conducted by the Directorate General of Airport Security requires a balance between creating an environment that is safe for employees as well as ensuring proper security measures in place. Because this requires direct contact between policemen and those present at the airports, it is important to take necessary measures to maintain employee safety according to the guidelines issued by the International Civil Aviation Organization and Oman Civil Aviation Authority. Senior health and safety officials also made continuous visits to airports to ensure the employees were safe during this period, with the DG for Airport Security also making it clear that the level of fitness that employees need to have at a time like this, so that they may perform their duties unimpeded and to ensure airports continue to function according to international specifications. Regular evaluations of the conditions of flights and airports are also conducted, and meetings are held to make sure the sector is ready to operate in future, he said. The need for all airport workers to adhere to the security protocols has been emphasized, and we have set up about 14,000 posters highlighting the process of social distancing between passengers. There is continuous sterilization of the items used by them, as well as regular checks to ensure all visitors to the airports follow the required health procedures. Among the precautions put in place at the airports are barriers put up to maintain social distancing in areas such as the ticket counters, passport and immigration zone, and visa cancellation areas, to name a few. Stickers are also put up at regular intervals reminding people of the need to socially distance, while there are staff members assigned to check the temperatures of all those who enter the premises. An internal team has been set up to ensure all staff at Oman's airports follow the health precautions needed. A group of expats who risked life and limb to save two Omanis from drowning have urged people not to go out to sea late at night, particularly when the weather is rough. On Friday night, Shahad Ruknuddin, Mohiddin Anas and Mudassar Kola, three Indian expats who live in Seeb, saved two locals after their boat reportedly capsized during rough waves. The two had gone out to sea with their friend and, on being rescued by the expats, commandeered a boat and went back to rescue them. The trio had gone to Seeb Beach in the hopes of catching some fish, and being unsuccessful, were about to go home when they heard faint cries in the distance. Concerned that it might be someone calling for help, they switched on their torch to see if they could spot anyone shouting for help from the water. Dhofar Cattle Feed reported an estimated embezzlement of 245,000 Omani riyals by some of its workers. In a statement, Dhofar Cattle Feed said that they found irregularities while reviewing expired and damaged products from the finished products. During scrutiny, it was found that some employees of the company had committed fraud to the extent of approximately 245,000 Omani riyals, which is the value of spoiled and expired products, Muscat Securities Market said in a statement. The company has improved its computer systems and processes and brought in additional measures of internal control. The company is in process of filing a case in the court with the help of an independent legal accountant and the company lawyer, the MSM added. Oman Medical Specialty Board (OMSB) on Sunday organized a welcoming activity via video communications as part of the orientation day for 134 newly enrolled doctors in the residency training programs for the 2020-2021 academic year and 144 doctors in the General Foundation program. The orientation started with an introductory video presentation of the OMSB, followed by a welcoming speech by Dr. Hilal bin Ali Al-Sabti, OMSB Executive President. Dr. Hood bin Abdullah Al-Abri, Vice President for Academic Affairs, gave a presentation including an overview of graduate studies in the board and the differences and similarities between university education in medical colleges and advanced education in medical specialties, as well as preparing doctors for advanced medical education through introducing them to the basics and methods used in advanced medical training and motivating doctors to strive and excel in residency training programs. The program concluded with a discussion to answer the inquiries of doctors joining the board and the training programs. The induction program contains several lectures and workshops aiming at giving a comprehensive idea of the training in the board and the assessment and evaluating methods of doctors during their training programs. A short film was screened offering general recommendations to doctors, and an introductory presentation was given about the Medical Simulation and Skills Development Center. Among the other topics discussed are the board's program for scientific research methodology, the scholarship system for advanced training abroad, as well as training doctors on using the electronic library and introducing its most important resources and related information databases, and the electronic management system for residents and doctors. The plan for blended learning project was discussed during a meeting on Sunday, which was one of the outcomes of the Education Lab held in October 2019. The coordination meeting was held by Oman Vision 2040 Implementation Follow-up Unit and the University of Technology and Applied Sciences. The lab culminated in the issuance of Royal Decree No. 81 by 2020, which stipulated the merging of Higher Technical College, Technical Colleges, Colleges of Applied Sciences and Al Rustaq College of Education, bringing them under one government university, University of Technology and Applied Sciences. The meeting, held on the premises of Oman Vision 2040 Implementation Follow-up Unit in Al Quwair, was attended by Dr. Khamis bin Saif Al Jabri, head of the unit, and Dr. Said bin Hamad Al Rubai, Vice Chancellor of the university. It was also attended by the unit's team tasked with the education sector, the labour market and employment. The meeting looked into all responsibilities and missions of the university's projects committees, appointment of the project's management team, and a review of the merger project's indicators. It also discussed means of addressing challenges in accordance with work system proceedings. Dr. Khamis and Dr. Said signed the executive plan of the merger, which will ensure smooth running in line with clear-cut indicators of performance to be followed up by the unit in its approach to facilitating all challenges that might emerge during the implementation stage. More than 25 scholarships have been offered by the Republic of Tunisia for postgraduate studies, Masters and PhD for the academic year 2020-2021, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation said. A statement issued online said the Directorate General of Scholarships of the Ministry is pleased to announce the availability of 30 scholarships offered by the Republic of Tunisia for postgraduate studies, Masters or PhD for the academic year 2020-2021. Those wishing to apply for these scholarships should review the details and conditions through the system on the website of the Unified Admission Central electronically. Note that registration for these scholarships will be available during the period from September 6, 2020, 2 p.m. Muscat local time to Thursday, September 10, 2020, the statement added. Those are the local news stories. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back with the international stories.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Now we have coming up the international stories. 3 militants and a policeman were killed early Sunday in a gunfight in restive Indian-controlled Kashmir, police said. The fight broke out at Panta Chowk on the outskirts of Srinagar city, the summer capital of Indian-controlled Kashmir. In an overnight gunfight that continued until early morning, 3 militants were killed in Panta Chowk area here, a police official posted in Srinagar said. While fighting militants, a policeman was also wounded. Though he was immediately removed to the hospital, he succumbed there. According to police officials, the 3 militants first fired upon a checkpoint manned by police and paramilitary Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF) at Panta Chowk. However, no damage was caused during the attack. Following the attack, government forces launched a search operation to trace the militants who opened fire again, leading to a gunfight that continued throughout the night. On Saturday, 3 militants and a trooper were killed in a fierce gunfight in Pulwama district. On Friday, 4 militants were killed in a similar gunfight with government forces in the adjacent Shopian district. A guerrilla war is going on between militants and Indian troops stationed in the region since 1989. Britain's 2 big political parties, the governing Conservatives and the main opposition Labour, are level pegging for the first time in over a year in a new opinion poll published Sunday. The poll by Opinium for the Observer newspaper gives both Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservatives and Labour 40 points each. It means a lead of 26 points at its peak for Johnson has been wiped out. Political commentators in London believe that result will send shockwaves through Westminster as politicians prepare to return to the House of Commons on Tuesday after their lengthy summer recess. The big question will be why has such a wide margin been squandered in a matter of months with the government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and recent U-turns by government ministers in the firing line for criticisms. On the opposition benches, the result will be welcomed by Labour members of Parliament headed by Keir Starmer, who replaced former party leader Jeremy Corbyn earlier this year. Opinion's Adam Drummond said, This is the first time Labour have drawn levels since July 2019, when both main parties were in free fall and losing votes to the Brexit Party and the Liberal Democrats. Since Johnson became Prime Minister, the Conservatives typically had a double-digit lead, peaking in March to April this year when they were seen to be handling the pandemic and lockdown fairly well, while Labour changed leader. In the 5 months since that peak, the lead has gradually declined from 26% to 0% now. The Observer reported that as MPs prepared to return to Westminster, politician Charles Walker, who is vice chair of the Committee of Conservative Backbenchers, told the newspaper that the recent string of U-turns had left many colleagues in despair, with some struggling to support and defend their government to constituents. Walker told the Observer that governing by U-turn is unsustainable. Walker, whom the paper described as normally counted firm Johnson loyalists, said, "Too often it looks like this government licks its finger and sticks it in the air to see which way the wind is blowing. This is not a sustainable way to approach the business of governing and government." As well as steering Britain through the pandemic, Johnson faces a tough, potentially make-or-break month September on Brexit negotiations with the European Union. Both sides are scheduled to hold informal talks this week ahead of a formal negotiating round following the week. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short commercial break and be back with our guests, the three heroes who saved the two Omani gentlemen from drowning.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to the Midday Update. Today in our local stories, we spoke about three gentlemen who risked their lives to save two Omanis from drowning. We have them on the show today, so let's welcome Mr. Shahid Ruknuddin, Mr. Moiddin Anas, and Mr. Mudassir Kola. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, a very good afternoon. Before we start, I have to say that was a heroic deed, and we are so proud of you.
Thank you.
Mr. Anas, just before we get into the story, before we get into details of what happened, could you tell me how long have you been in Oman and what do you do?
Since 2014, I'm staying in Oman. I'm running a small business in Oman.
Right, that's good to know. And Mr. Shahid, could you tell me what were you doing that night before you actually planned on this trip on going fishing, as you mentioned earlier?
We 2 times we friends are going for a late night walk. And
So it was an unplanned trip. You just thought it was going to be a casual night when you go fishing, but then the incident happened. Mr. Anas, could you just elaborate what exactly happened that night?
Actually, that night, 29 August it was, late night 11:30, we gone for fishing. We spent at least 10-20 minutes there. So while we see the sea may have so many waves, so we think to come back. Then we are getting some voice over that help. In Arabic they are saying help us, something like that. So we try to see the people. We didn't find anyone. So after spending 15 to 20 minutes, so we just think that they may be just making some fun of us, or they are lying, something like that. So we think to come back. While we switch off our light, they start shouting more and more. We want help. Like they speak in Arabic, Saadni, Musada, Musada, Saadni, Saadni. Then Mudassir, he says, can we call police? You want me to call police? Then immediately I call police. I thank Oman police. Within few minutes they came and they rescue the third person. The 2 person, while they are coming, they are already tired. While they are coming towards us, they are getting so much tired. I don't know, maybe how many hours they spend in the sea. They are not getting any help. Actually, local fishermen also near to them. So they may be shouting, but the Omani local person, They didn't hear. Actually, we are not getting the idea what's going on there.
Right.
Then Mudassir Shahid, what he's done. But before they come to us, maybe 30 meter, around 30 meter, they are near to us. They get tired. They says, "Come and help us." Shahid didn't see anything. He didn't realize that he have mobile, he have watches, everything. He just jump and he just help them to come up.
Right. So, Mr. Shahid, you were the one who actually jumped down. What was going through your head when you decided to take that leap?
On the time, didn't think about our life, our family. We just for the save the life of Oman.
Nothing matters when there are lives at stake. Mr.
Yeah.
Mudassir, tell me about your experience when you first, of course, when you realized that these people were genuinely in trouble. What was going through your head?
I can't really know.
Were you
But
at
I
any,
guess
Mr. Anas, at any point were any of you scared? Did you fear that there was something that maybe you could not help them?
No, actually, when we are getting sound for help, 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 they are just shouting for help. We thought maybe these people just maybe the local fishermen, just they are maybe the young people, just they are making fun of us. This is what in our mind. When we saw the one people, he is just asking for help in Arabic, Saadni, something like that. Then we didn't think anything. And what I can say. Uh, just we are focusing, just let them come to near to us, instead of they are going to the seashore, because seashore is too far, they are not able to go there. So we tell them that we showing them the light, just come to us, it is very near, don't worry, we are here, you already safely arrived, don't worry about yourself, we are here. On that time we don't know actually how many percent there. We thought maybe one or two. When they came, then Shahid go and rescue those people. Then they told to Shahid, there is one more man inside the sea. He's a capable person. He can swim, no problem. So they gone one more time to rescue their friend before police arrive. Police is also police team. They just come very quickly. They help us, and they just whatever the thing, they are trying to manage, and they appreciate for our work. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, definitely. Hats off to the authorities. I think the mere fact that you started talking to them, or they knew that there were three people who were waiting on them, that really helped them come closer to you guys, because they had hope. And I think at a point like this, hope is essential. So, have you, Mr. Mudassir, Mr. Shahid, have you experienced anything like this before? Or was this a first time?
This is first time.
Actually, this is first time we go on for that place for fishing. This is what I can say. Um, this is something happened from the Allah. Yani we never go for that place for fishing, and we go for that place only for 15-minute time. We just think for to come back, and those people they stuck there and they are asking for our help. So this is what happened from Allah. This is not from our side. We didn't do anything. This is from the Allah.
It was meant to be. You were placed at the right place at the right time.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Shahid, when you got back home, what was the reaction from your friends, from your family?
They told me this is not taking from my Allah. This
They supported
Actually,
you.
he's getting so much pain while he rescued the 2%.
Definitely, he was the one who jumped in.
Yeah, he spent another 15 minutes there.
my legs
Uh,
also right legs also injured.
yeah, he spent 15 minutes there to just see the another one man where we can find him, but we didn't see that person. So he says, we will go back to our room because he's getting so much blood and pain. So I informed police official that we are going back because this man is getting pain. Police official on that time just focus on the third person to rescue.
Right, right.
Shahid come to room. So me and Mudassir gone one more time. When we reached there, we saw one person. His age is 32, staying in Marbella, some place he's told. We saw him there alive, Alhamdulillah. Then police official person, they just appreciate. They say this is what you done. It's a very good job, something like that.
That is excellent. So you said they were bleeding. In what state did you actually find these people? Were they just out of breath because they were in the water for a long time? Were they just tired, or were they actually injured?
When we are getting sound, I think those people, they think we are Arabic. They speak continuously in Arabic that help us. They speak in the like. Not local Arabic, like in the market they are speaking. They are speak something uh, fussy Arabic, they says. But we didn't understand. When we saw that people, we told them, relax, you reach, don't worry. But these people, they are shouting that one more person is there. He is so far, so behind us. Something they are speaking. We have miscommunication something, because on that time we don't know what to say and how to handle this condition. You understand?
Yes.
When they came, Shahid go and rescue these two people. They came up. Within few minutes, they go on to see one more time with the fisherman boat.
Right.
They didn't wait for police or Navy, sea police or any. They didn't wait for any person. Just they go for rescue third person, their friend.
And Mr. Mudassir, when you managed to get them on board, I believe Mr. Shahid was in the water, and Sanas, Mr. Mudassir, you were in the boat. When you pulled them up, what was the first thing that you told them? I know they were very stressed, they were panicking. What did you tell them?
First,
He just asked for water. Brother, take water, something like that.
I think that's the best thing to do at that point. And then, of course, you went back for the third person. So you mentioned that you don't really go to this place often. This was the first time you've actually been there. But do you
Right.
generally go out into the sea for fishing or any other activity?
See, because there is this week we saw on the seaside there is so much wind, so we are not going for fishing for daily. We maybe weekly one or two time we are going for fishing. On the day, this is what happened from Allah. We go and we are not going to that place. If we are going to the seashore only, seashore. That's it. This is what happened from what we can say, Allah.
And is this a hobby, a little off context, but is this a hobby that maybe you've taken up during the COVID-19 pandemic? Because everyone has developed new hobbies during this time, I believe. Or is this something you've always been doing?
You can say routinely, and we can go weekly two times. That's it. Late night, just we are going for walking. That's it.
Right. And how has this period been, the pandemic period, how has it been for all of you in general?
It is tough for all of us. Very tough.
I do hope things get
Since
better.
March the lockdown, everything, and we got we stuck, and we can say we stuck in one place. I don't know. Now slowly the things is going to change. Inshallah, hope for a good.
Absolutely. You've done a great deed, so things will definitely get better. Before we
Inshallah.
end the show, any final advice for people who love the sea, who like getting out in the sea? We've got a weather alert saying that the Arabian Sea is going to be rough, but some people still tend to take risks. So, any advice that you'd like to give people who like to be a little adventurous?
What advice I can give them that be in your limit. So don't go beyond your limit. These people, they go actually with time they go to see. We don't know. So be in your limit. That's it.
Definitely, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being on the show. And again, hats off to what you have done. Have
Thanks.
a great day,
Thank
and
you.
it's been a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Those were the three gentlemen who performed a heroic act and saved two men from drowning. On that note, yes, once again, we would like to remind people that seas will be rough, the Arabian Sea will be rough, so do not venture out unless you have to. And even otherwise, exercise extreme caution when you are out at sea. there may or may not be someone who can actually rescue you like these gentlemen did. On that note, that was Midday Update today. Stay tuned tomorrow at the same time.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.